Bonjour and welcome to this video on my channel where we'll be continuing our journey to the Edexcel's version of the Pure Mathematics Year 1 book. Today we'll be covering the third chapter in topic 1, which is factorising. So factorising is usually the opposite of expanding brackets and is one which is expressed as a product of expressions. Here we have a factorized expression as is a product of three linear factors, x being one of them, x plus 1 being the second, x plus 2 being the third. A linear expression is of the form ax plus b. It is called linear because plotting y equals ax plus b would form a straight line. Secondly, this expression here, x plus 1 plus x minus 1 x plus 1, is not a factorized expression because the outermost operation is a sum, not a product. Here we have basic examples of what you should remember from GCSE. Please have a go. Okay, firstly, these two questions should be fairly simple. We have to find a common multiple within these two expressions, two variables, x cubed and x squared, and we should get x squared as a common multiple. So x squared should be on the outside with x plus 1 as a bracket. The second one, that you should get 4x 1 minus 2y, because 4x is a common multiple and can be factorized out. Next, we'll go into factorizing quadratics. This should be fairly simple, as you should have done this in GCSE quite often. But first, we have to find two numbers which multiply to give a coefficient of x and multiply to give the constant term. A coefficient of a term is the constant in front of it. For example, the coefficient of x is 5 and the coefficient of x squared is 1. So the first example here, x squared minus 5x minus 14, should be factorized into x minus 7 and x plus 2. This is because 7 times 2 equals minus 7 times 2 equals minus 14, and minus 7 plus 2 equals 5. But what if the coefficient of x squared is not 1? Then you should do the exact same thing and you should get 2x minus 3 and x plus 4. Another way would be to split the brackets or split the middle term. So firstly, you should find two numbers which add to give the middle term and multiply to give the last term. For example, in this question, the middle term is 5 and the last term is minus 24, minus 12 times 2. Step 2, split the middle term by finding the two numbers, which is 8 and minus 3. Factorize the first half and second half, ensuring the bracket is duplicated. Step 4, factorize out the bracket. So in this case, you should have got 2x minus 3 and x plus 4. Now on to some other factorizations, which, secondly, you should have covered in GCSE. First, it will go through the difference of two squares, which, here's the answer. 4x squared minus 25 should factorize into 2x plus 5 and 2x minus 5, because 25 is a square number, which is 5 squared, and 4x squared is also a square expression, which is 2x. In general, a rule to remember of difference of two squares is that x squared minus y squared, where x squared is x squared and y squared is a constant, or another expression, is that x minus y and x plus y is what you should get. Secondly, other examples, for example this one, x cubed minus x, do the same thing, factorize out as common multiple, which is x in this case. You should get x squared minus 1, and using difference of two squares by recognizing that minus 1 and x squared are squared terms, you should factorize that bracket and should get x plus 1 and x minus 1. Finally, factorize out an x as it's the only common term in this equation, and you should get x with x squared plus 6x plus 5 in its brackets, and factorize the bracket to get x plus 5 and x plus 1. Have a go at these questions by pausing the video. For the first question, should be fairly simple. You should have got 3x plus 2 and 2x minus 1. The second question, you should have got x, x minus 3 and x minus 4. For the extension question 3, should be fairly simple. By recognizing that x to the power of 4 is a squared term and 1 is also a squared term, you should use the difference of two squares and should get x squared plus 1 and x squared minus 1. And then also by recognizing that x squared minus 1 is also a difference of two squares. And then factorize out that bracket and you should get x squared plus 1, x plus 1 and x minus 1. For question 4, by using the rule at the bottom, you should have got x minus 1 multiplied by x squared plus x plus 1 in two different brackets. Thank you for listening to this video and hope you have a good holiday.